For the vast majority of 6th grade, I was frequently harassed for wearing less than feminine clothing, and my classmates called me names like she-man and he-she. Distraught, I informed at least 4 teachers about this name-calling, and nothing was done to help me. The only teacher that took even the slightest initiative simply moved my seat to a different table. I still heard the slurs being giggled in the back of the room. My self-esteem lowered considerably, and I fell into a state of depression. The common response I was given after attempting to get help from a teacher was, "They're just giving you a hard time because you're different. Don't take it to heart."
We're in the Hoover GSA, and we've seen some issues around the school that we're having big problems with. The biggest issue, obviously, that we're seeing is that kids are using slurs and foul words like "that's so gay," "fag," "dyke," "no homo," etc. And we perceive that these slurs are being addressed far less frequently than other foul words and hurtful words pertaining to race or just common profanities. It's clear to us that the staff is uncomfortable with the subject of sexuality. This should not interfere with the enforcement of district policy.
I feel like a lot of kids feel unsafe about even saying anything to anyone about them being gay or lesbian. Our society is so restricted by these laws against marriages that we're just also confused about what we're supposed to be doing.
I had gone to a professional development where they had disseminated statistics about our district, and part of what came out of that was that transgendered youth are pretty much the most at-risk student here. They are the most likely student to attempt suicide in the district. I was completely blown away, so I felt like I have to show this to my staff. So I did. I got up on a table and shouted at the staff. It's our jobs, every single person's job in this room, to enforce, safety and provide a safe environment for all students, not just straight ones. So, if anytime you don't address it, you're failing at your job. You're not doing your job.
I think many of us were affected by her presentation, and it made me think that I'd never had a functional GSA or an organization like that at any middle school that I'd worked at. When she proposed that we do so, I was very supportive of it, but I was also a little bit anxious about it because middle school is a time of great difficulty for kids with the transition into adolescence and so on.
I'm in the GSA here. We started it because we thought that hate in our school was getting really bad and we wanted to fight against it. I think people in our age group should be able to express who they are. I think that's one of the most difficult things in middle school is that we have such a hard time finding ourselves. I'm driven partly by my sexuality, and I feel like I need to fight for it because, I really hate it that, people that are gay can't marry.
So the Gay Straight Alliance is a really good place where kids get together, whether they're straight, whether they're gay, whether they're questioning, or whether they just want somewhere to talk. And they can come together with the guidance of a teacher to talk about difference and talk about acceptance.
Ms. Miller said that we will be helping people and like making people and not feel like they're outcasts.
What does it mean to accept? What does acceptance truly mean, and what does that look like? And the GSA really helps the students have a place to ask those questions and talk about it and really navigate through what society says in media, maybe even what their parents are saying, and how they feel about the people that they actually know. So today we are in remembrance of Transgender Day of Remembrance, and specifically to remember those who have lost their lives.
Everybody's really serious about trying to get the awareness out, and I feel like even though a lot of kids do feel restricted at school, especially since we have a GSA, it's a lot easier to express ourselves, and I feel a lot of kids need that push to be who they are.
When I have GSA meetings, I'm seeing different kids coming in, kids I wouldn't have expected to come by, who are opening up their minds to this. It's definitely changing the culture here. In 1 year, you can change a kid's outlook. So I think it's extremely powerful.
Since then, the event has grown to encompass memorials in dozens of cities across the world.
I hear a lot from other teachers, and even before I started the GSA, oh, you know, middle schoolers aren't ready for that yet. And they absolutely are. They want to be activists. They don't want to just passively sit there. They want to do things and make change.
The fact that our staff that on my school is standing up for kids just means everything to me and makes me so honored to work in the school.
The Gay Straight Alliance makes it possible for me to be out and to be safe being out. And, you know, personally, that's huge. It's really important.
Being in a club like this, it makes me feel better knowing that there are other people like me.
I feel a lot better since joining my GSA. I feel like, you know, even though I am a kid, there are things I can do to make the world a better place.